Yo, 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 welcome back to Brandon Smooth TV. Back at you with another review. We got House of the Dragon episode 5 through 7 review. Now, I've been gone for a couple of weeks, new gig, training, this and that, but I'm back and I've definitely caught up on all of these episodes. Look, the show's getting pretty good, and we know the time jump happens beginning with episode 5, the 10-year time jump. We do have, of course, Rhaenyra is a grown ass woman, even though she was like 21, 17, something like that. And we know the queen is definitely a grown ass woman. They got kids now. And yeah, so let's get it popping. Now, episode 5 begins with Rhaenyra actually giving birth. Showing agonizing pain. Back then I don't think it was no epidurals or they didn't have too much stuff to nuke the pain like they do now. And I know it is some people that have natural births, but you got to definitely see the pain she was going through. I ain't never seen a woman have a baby and then immediately one of the handmaidens came in and was like, "The queen want to see your baby." So rather than just send the baby, you know what I'm saying, with somebody or send it with the father, she gets up right after childbirth. She had to be super strong. And the queen and king went to see the baby, and they took him. She's bleeding all over and walking super slow with her husband Laenor, and we'll get into him later. But that was crazy. Now the queen was checking to see if Rhaenyra's baby hair was white. You know why? Because the Targaryen's hair is white. If you look at this picture right here, you see the queen. She got like brownish red hair, right? And we know she's with Rhaenyra's father. He got white hair, right? But later on the episode, y'all gonna see their kids. Their hair is all white. That's that strong ass Targaryen blood. We're gonna get into this. This shit is crazy. Anyways, that was a crazy ass scene. You can definitely see they still had a lot of tension, and it was just crazy. Now King Viserys is blind because after they left and later on they talk, he's like he don't really care. He knows that her kids is not Targaryen kids. They from another side. And he tried to give a story about a horse. Talking about he had a horse one time and it got out and got with another horse and then it was a color and none of the three colors matched. That ain't got shit to do with what's easy for everybody to see. Now why Rhaenyra keep fucking all her bodyguards? That's a good question. Like she messed with Sir Kristen before he switched sides, and now she's messing with all her bodyguards and one of these people. I don't know. Super weird. Now we got to see inside of the dragon pit. That was a really good scene. I did enjoy seeing, the little people they have helping train the dragons and basically take care of them. And it was good to see how they train them. The language they use, the Targaryen language they use to talk to them. And they do keep it kind of like in the family because if you're not a Targaryen, you really don't speak that language. And that's how they keep the dragons loyal, so they won't turn against them. So that was a cool scene. Now, Alicent's son, Aemon, he doesn't have a dragon. And his brother, and I guess that would be his, God damn, I gotta keep with this family shit. That would be his cousin? I don't know, super weird. Anyways, no? Because that's her kids with her father. See, yeah, that's her brothers and sisters. Anyways, they brought his ass out a pig with wings. Rhaenyra's son, they just dick riding Aegon, the oldest son. They looking up to him, and he don't even want to be king. It was crazy. There's a scene where she's like grabbing his face and forcing him to be king. He don't care about where the lineage go. He just want to live. And you can tell Alicent has definitely turned into her father in some aspects because she would do anything to ascend or get one of her kids to ascend, to the Iron Throne. Now, Daemon ended up marrying Rhaenyra. We pick up with them 10 years, and they had two beautiful daughters. His wife is fine, too. Mm-hmm. Fine. So he's basically changed his life. He's not really involved with his family no more. He's moved on, and they travel around helping people with different wars and different stuff. They really like traveling people, and he's ready actually to settle down, but she don't want to. She wants to return home. She wants to basically be in the mix. Now, she was also pregnant. And it is a very gruesome scene where she's trying to have a baby. The second scene in this episode, and she couldn't. The baby was breached. So Damon's out there talking to the doctors, the maesters, doctors, whatever. I call them the doctors too. And he had to make a decision. Are we gonna slice her open, just like they did Viserys' wife, and take the baby out? But before she did that, she said, "Fuck that shit." She wanted a warrior's death, and they mentioned it earlier in the episode. So, had her own dragon burn her rather than get cut open. She chose her own fate, and that's gangster. Now, Rhaenyra's kids, they all got black hair, right? And their father, who happens to be the king's current hand son, he exposed himself and got baited by Sir Christian, and basically said, "Is this your son?" Right? Then they was having a little battle. Hugh couldn't hide. He exposed himself when his son was getting beat up in a training session with the sticks, and he could not hide it. Sir Christian is a bitch, though. He's a bitch, because the commander beat his ass. But he baited him to do it for real. And what he did was expose that this dude obviously loved his kids and got an interest in his kids, as he said, way more than he should, to try to basically expose Rhaenyra. Now, Rhaenyra trying to marry her son off to Alicent's daughter and give her a dragon. I had to bring that up because there was a scene where she's trying to make amends, but you can kind of tell it's not really genuine. It's crazy because she's doing exactly what she accused her father of doing, marrying her off for political purposes. And you can see, to me, they even gonna go harder than their parents. Of course, they're younger, but they even gonna go harder with trying to manipulate and do anything, including marry their kids off to somebody they don't love. Back then it was a tradition. It was a good decision. It was a good decision back then because marriages were political. Marriages was about obtaining more wealth, fortifying your family legacy, and trying to get with the best families you can to gain power. So I understand that. But they're going to be worse than their parents. I can see that definitely coming. But yeah, that wasn't shit. Now, Lars is the commander's brother. And the commander I'm talking about is the maester's son and Rhaenyra's baby daddy, her true baby daddy, not Laenor. Lars is the commander's brother. And what he does, because basically they got off the hook. The king's hand, he was gonna quit Hightower. He's gonna quit, but the king didn't let him. So he was like, "Look, let me at least take my son, who was Rhaenyra's baby daddy, back home. He need to start. I just need to get him out of here." Lars, they brother, he finds some death row inmates, basically, y'all, cuts off their fucking tongues, and burns up the commander and the hand. His own brother and his own father. Evil. Rhaenyra ends up lying to her sons, you know what I'm saying? Because when he left before he got burnt up, he was like, "Hey, is Strong my father? Am I a bastard?" You know what she told him? She looked at him and said, "You a Targaryen." You a Targaryen. That was funny to me. I don't know why. Now, why does this rat keep showing up? Viserys keeps seeing this rat. I'm gonna have to look into it, but for some reason, it's like it's giving me like a weaselly feeling. I don't think the rat kind of represents Viserys and the people around him, just frolicking around his corpse, because basically he's turned into a living fucking zombie, a corpse, and just waiting on their chance to pounce on him and take power. So he does got a lot of rats and roaches and snakes and evil shit around him. That's how I took it. Now we come back in the Queen after, of course, Lars kills his father, which is the hand, the king's hand, and fucking Rhaenyra's baby daddy burns him up. The Queen ordered that hit and she didn't even know it. Now Lars, what does he want? He either wants some cash or he wants some ash. Excuse me, he wants some cash or he wants some ass. One or the other. I don't know. But we gonna see. But the way he grabbed that rose, I was like, do he like the queen, or he just want, he just want a high position or some gold or something? We'll find out. And moving on with the next few episodes, Corliss' brother taking shots during the funeral when Lena died, the one that got burned up by a dragon. He was taking shots at the Targaryen family. You can tell. He kept talking about true blood and Valyrian blood that run deep. Damon started laughing. That shit was hilarious. And then they fucking pan the camera out. Otto is back as the king's hand. Guess after this other boy got burnt up, they probably never look, get Otto back, man. He's been with you a very long time. You know him. It's your wife's dad. Get him back. And you could tell Otto he's still manipulating the scenes, but it seems like he's a lot more quieter. He don't want to piss the king off. At least in these episodes, he don't want to piss the king off and get fired again. So I understand that. That shit was crazy though. Now Aegon's ass is a fucking alcoholic. Already, he's just slipping the wine, sipping the wine, sipping the wine. And that shit's gonna come back to bite him in the ass. I can feel it in the future. I can definitely feel that. Now, Corliss and his wife, the queen who never was, they are going through it, y'all. They lost Lena. They lost their kid, man. And Viserys tries to apologize to Daemon because he actually shows up for the funeral. But Daemon wasn't having it. He was like, come home. He was like, I don't need you. I don't need none of y'all. So we're going to see if they can mend their relationship. I doubt it based on all the shit Daemon did. But Viserys still loves his brother. It is what it is. Now, the queen who never was, she ends up having a talk with Corliss. And she basically wants Laena's daughter to be the queen of Driftmark and basically take over for them when they die. And the name of this episode was Driftmark. So it was very, very good seeing a different side of Game of Thrones, different people, different land. That was cool. And their customs as far as their funerals and all of that. I thought that was pretty cool. Now, Rhaena said she did try to have kids with Laenor in the scene when she was talking with Daemon, but it didn't work. So in my previous episode, I'm like, why didn't they at least try to have kids? Apparently they did. But I'm going to keep it a buck, y'all. Rhaenyra is a ho-ho. That bitch belong to the streets. Damn it. Hey, that bitch belongs, that. She belonged to the streets. Slept with Daemon. You knew it was going to happen again because she just wanted it. And we'll see how that goes. Now, this little motherfucker stole Vhagar. This is dirty, y'all. My mama's funeral night, right? I'm supposed to basically inherit and claim the dragon, right? Because it was my mom's, right? And we know one of the previous episodes, the little girl didn't have a dragon, one of the other ones did, right? This little motherfucker stole Vhagar. Aemon. Ass. The biggest dragon in the world. And it was crazy because he knew the language, he know to tell them to be still and got on and rode them. I guess once you ride them, you claim them, they're yours. And then you land them, But that little motherfucker stole Vhagar. And he almost fell off that bitch. He was holding on for dear life. That was a crazy scene, but it was probably the best dragon scene to me I've seen out of all the dragon scenes. They did a real good job with showing how big Vhagar was and scales and flying over cities and stuff, so that was dope. Now, all the kids, he comes back and lands Vhagar, and of course they seen this big motherfucker take off, so, the daughters, Laena's daughters and Daemon's daughters, they down there. They're like, what the fuck is going on, G? He like, oh yeah, I took your dragon. He was like, that's okay, we'll get you a pig. And the kids were fighting like motherfuckings, in the streets. I'm talking about it was like a street fight with kids. Aemon start kind of beating their ass, right? And then they all start jumping that fool. So Aemon ends up getting everybody out from jumping them and shit. And he picks up a rock, like he's gonna kill or at least crack one of them kids' heads and give them a concussion, right? And one of the brothers, the little brother, threw the goddamn sand in his face. And then the other brother pulled out his goddamn blade and cut his motherfucking eye out. Next thing you know, we cut to King Viserys and he's going off. Daemon in the back just watching, and Otto Otto just sitting there. He ain't saying shit. He really don't give a fuck about his grandson. He give a fuck about power. Cause you know the Mason sitting there sewing the little nigga eye up, and they're like, "Is the eye lost?" They're like, "Yeah, the eye's gone." And this is when shit really hit the fan. To me, this is really I wouldn't say the first real scene where the blacks and the greens are like against each other. And they call them the blacks and the greens. You see the dresses on here. Which team you on, basically? You on Team Rainier, and they claim, of course, she was named to the Iron Throne, and you with Allison and her son's getting the Iron Throne. So that's when it really popped off. King Viserys is going off on everybody. I don't give a fuck about his grandchildren. He basically said all this shit's gonna stop, and then he made a decree that said, look, if anybody bring up Rhaenyra's kids' lineage again, it's over. But Allison wasn't having that shit. Allison was like, all right. He's like, cool. She was like, I want one of her son's eyes in return. An eye for an eye. Literally. King was like, calm that shit down. We're not doing that shit. Everybody hold off. And then she tried to get Sir Kristen to do it, but he looked at the fucking his commander. He's like, no, you better not do that shit. And he was like, oh look, I'm here to protect you. I'm not just going out slicing other little princess eyes out. So she pulled the knife out and cut Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra was smart in this because she used this scene to basically show how the queen is, and she said that to her, and that's what really got her pissed off. So yeah, that was a crazy ass scene, but that's when it really got set off. And fucking, I don't give a fuck about it. Otto, he don't give a fuck about his grandchildren. He said it, but he was actually telling the truth. He said it was worth his grandson losing an eye to get Vhagar, because he said now we got the biggest dragon, Vhagar, on our side. Laura's crazy ass, who burnt up Rhaenyra in the last hand of the king, told the queen, I cut the other boy's eyes out if you need me to. Do you still want to go get that eye? After the scene, he's like, no. And then last but not least, Rhaenyra proposed to Daemon, and they fucking got married. That's where they left this shit off. So you got two fucking ticking time bombs together. Tensions are raising, and I think they're gonna keep doing time jumps just like they did in the previous episodes till we get to the fucking Rise of the Dragon. So the show is really good. I'm engaged and I'm enjoying it, and I always look forward to Sundays to see what's gonna happen next. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and as always, thank y'all for tuning in. I'll be back with some more videos. Peace.